Hello, Paracave podcast listeners. My name is Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty and long-term sponsor of the Paracave podcast. If you're looking to sell your property or buy, or just curious to know what your property is worth in today's market, give me a call today on 0421 588 445.
Welcome to another episode of the Paracave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Paracave.
We're the boys in blue, New South, New South. Where is Queensland? We can see ya, see ya. Who stands up? Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. You talk a lot of shit with your mouth, with your mouth. Well, we're the boys in blue, New South, New South. Where is Queensland? We can see ya, we can see ya. Who stands up? Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. Let me hear ya, let me hear ya. B-L-U-E-S. New South Blues, New South Blues, New South Blues. How do you feel? I feel like I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing. I feel like.
And yes, that is the sound of the New South Wales Blues as they are 2024 State of Origin champions. How good is it to be a New South Welshman and support this team? They are the champions of State of Origin for 2024, ending the 2-year reign of the Queensland Maroons. How good a game was it last night at Suncorp Stadium up there in Brisbane, in front of 52,500 people, mostly Queenslanders who left disappointed. But yeah, gee, it is great to be a New South Welshman or a New South Wales supporter. And what a game. What a game. I honestly think that was the 1991 Game 2, State of Origin, MG, Wally Lewis in the driving rain, Michael O'Connor, kick from the sideline. That is my favourite Origin game of all time. But gee, last night, that Origin game is something to behold. It had everything. It had melees, it had sin binnings, it had massive hits, it had a couple of great tries scored. Look, it just had everything. That is one Origin for the ages, and that is what we were waiting to see in a decider. Look, New South Wales, they had only won 2 deciders previously up there in Brisbane at Suncorp Stadium, 1994 and 2005. So it was 19 years ago before they won another one. It was actually quite ironic and coincidental, I should say, as well, that it was the 17th of July 1984, game number 3, I'm going to say. Yes, it was game number 3 in 1984 that the Blues won that game 22 points to 12 against Queensland at the old Lang Park that day. Brett Kenny and Steve Mortimer were the halves combination for New South Wales. But look, I just can't believe this game. It was a great game. Now, Queensland, Coach Billy Slater, he made some changes to his starting lineup before the game started, and some interesting changes there. Mo Fotuaika from the bench to starting, Felice Kafusi from the bench to starting, and also Harry Grant from the bench starting as well. So the interchange bench looked a little bit different as well. Ben Hunt, Lindsay Collins and Jeremiah Nanai. ended up on the interchange bench for Queensland. So straight away, Queensland were making a few changes there. Obviously, probably to get those aggression players in, get those defensive players in. We all know Felice Kafusi can pull off a big hit or two, especially last season at the Dolphins. That is for sure. Harry Grant, obviously starting at hooker there, added a little bit of spark and around the rucks. But yeah, obviously some few changes there to the Queensland side going into the game, which was very interesting. And I don't know whether Coach Billy Slater was a little bit rattled and maybe just had to try something different against this New South Wales side, who definitely had the edge in game 2. Now, what about some of the moments in the game? Now, I'm not going to go through play by play, but what about some of the moments in the game? And look, Bradman Best, he made a break down the side of the field, and DCE just come from nowhere, I should say, and the ankle tap from DCE. Early on, Angus Crichton, he had to go off with a HIA, contact with Reece Walsh's forearm elbow, and look, that was always going to happen, a HIA, contact to the head there. And look, early on in the game, Queensland, they were trying to smash New South Wales. Their defence was, they were absolutely smashing New South Wales. They had a point to prove. And I must say, too, that the New South Welshmen as well, New South Wales side, New South Wales forwards, they were smashing Queensland as well. This game was one of the most brutal games you will ever see of Origin. And if the NRL, they want to showcase rugby league to America and the world, they should just show them this game, I think, because they will not believe some of these big hits in this game. And some of the big hits were from the little fellas of Queensland. Tommy Dearden as well in defence, absolutely amazing. Did a tackle on Liam Martin, I believe, and Dylan Edwards, I think it was, at one stage. And look, he was probably one of the best Queensland players on the field, along with Pat Carrigan. But look, this all started, usually in an Origin game, you probably have your 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes softening up period with these big hits and the like, and that they're the minutes that you always sit down and watch because that sets the tempo for the game. But this that just lasted the whole half of the game, State of Origin number 3 last night. So it just lasted forever. They were basically going tit for tat. You know, Queensland would pull off a big hit, and then New South Wales would pull off a big hit. It was unbelievable. I do not know how many of these players will back up for their clubs this weekend in the NRL because it was just so brutal. Penalty to New South Wales after a late shot on Mitchell Moses from Kurt Capel. Look, New South Wales, they were attacking the Queensland line a lot in that first half, but a credit to the Queensland defence, they just could not, New South Wales just could not break the line, especially in that first half. And they tried, but again, as I mentioned before, Tom Dearden, copybook tackle on Liam Martin, he knocked it on. And then about the 31st minute, it's a little bit of a melee, and a well-publicised melee, you could say. Look, no punches were thrown. There was a lot of pushing and shoving and throwing to the ground and the like. And that started between DCE and Jerome Luai. Queensland actually had the ball. It was their first tackle, I think it was, but then this started, and there is vision of Cameron Murray sprinting down the sideline just to try and break it up, I guess, and protect his mate Jerome Luai. And I think earlier on in the season, when Madge Maguire got this team together. They were talking about the mateship and the like, and protect your mate, do it at all costs. But also, I think there was I can't remember what game it was, whether it was 2021, 2022 State of Origin game. Big Tito and Dane Gagai. It must have been 2022, I think, with Matt Burton, the pushing and the shoving. I think there might have been punches thrown in that one. That game also at Suncorp Stadium as well. And I guess Madge Maguire instilled into this team from that moment. He went back to that moment and, look, just stand up for your mate. And that's what Cameron Murray did anyway. Basically sprinted down the sideline to try and protect his mate. And look, that's probably, you would like to think that's what your teammates would do for you. He certainly did it. Now, the funny thing, the most, I guess, history-making thing you could say, is Cameron Murray was the first player to be sin-binned from the bench. So he wasn't even on the field at the time, and he got sin-binned for his actions into that melee. So very interesting one there. Now, it sort of asks you the question, how did they decide which player to take off the field, because Cameron Murray was on the bench? So apparently how it was organised was, I heard this via Mark Geyer and Liam Flanagan on their podcast on Triple M, so have a listen to them as they do their review as well. But MG was talking to his great mate Johnny Cartwright, the assistant coach of New South Wales, and he asked the question, how did you decide which player to take off? Apparently they turned to the stats guru in the New South Wales box and basically asked who was the player that had been on there the longest in the middle. So that player, unfortunately, was Mitch Barnett. So he got taken off the field for not even doing anything, which I guess he would have seen as a bit of a blow, because he had a cracker of a debut game for New South Wales. He came on originally with Angus Crichton suffering that HIA, so he was on the field then at that time. So he was one of these ones that were pulling off the big hits, big runs as well. So he was the one who actually went off the field and probably feels a bit ripped off, to be honest, but that's the way it goes. So, yeah, very interesting one there. Jeremiah Nanai as well got sin-binned for Queensland. He basically ran over and I guess pushed Luai in the back, and then that's when all the other Queenslanders came over, and that's where New South Wales players come from everywhere. Hamoli Olakawatu, he wasn't even playing the game. He came down in his suit apparently and got involved. He's copped 2 matches, as has Cameron Murray, for their their involvement in the melee. Now, that also raises a question as well. So, these guys are playing for New South Wales in State of Origin. Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs and Olakawatu for Manly. Now, Olakawatu, he wasn't even playing the game. I think he was like 19th, 18th, 19th, 20th man or something like that. For New South Wales, he played games 1 and 2. So he wasn't even playing in this game, and he's copped 2 matches. So what do you do in that situation when it's State of Origin and the clubs now miss out? So Manly, I don't think South Sydney will make the top 8 this season. Now, Manly, they are still in the hunt, and a player like Olakawatu, they want on the field every single week. So what is your thoughts on that one? Should the clubs be penalised for players in State of Origin? Should they just be a money fine? Some of these players that were involved in this melee, Matt Burton, Payne Haas, Brian Toto, Kurt Capewell, Jeremiah Nanai. Kurt Capewell actually got 2 charges out of State of Origin number 3. Felice Kafusi, Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow, Ruben Cotter. So Cameron Murray and Olakau'atu were the two big ones who got 2 matches. Matt Burton, Payne Haas, contrary conduct, 7 to 10% of match fees. Brian To'o, he got 13 to 20% of match fees. Kurt Capewell, he got 2 offences in that game, a dangerous throw and dangerous contact, 7 to 10% of match fees. Felice Kafusi, contrary conduct, 7% to 10% match fees. Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow, grade 2 contrary conduct, 13 to 20% of match fees. Ruben Cotter, grade 2 contrary conduct, 13 to 20% of match fees. So the question I want to ask you, the listeners, is should it be a monetary fine for these players in Origin, as their clubs, they suffer if they do get suspended? But certainly, look, nobody was hurt in there. I don't think there was any punches thrown. It was great to see, I reckon, from a personal point of view. It's State of Origin. I did do a story on Instagram last night during the game when it happened, saying, how good is this? This is Origin. A little bit of emotion in the game. How good. So, but for others, it was not a good look. It probably shouldn't have happened. Cameron Murray probably shouldn't have sprinted over off the sideline, but he was there to protect his mate. Coach Michael Maguire said he was proud of his players in that situation. So, look, it's done and dusted now. It's happened. We'll be talking about it for years to come, no doubt, and certainly weeks to come as well. But look, that's something that'll probably be on the highlights reel come Origin time each and every year. Stephen Crichton, he nearly got the first try of the game, but unfortunately knocked the ball on. Look, Stephen Crichton, he is certainly coming of age since he went to the Bulldogs. We all knew what a good player he was at the Panthers, but he's gone to the Bulldogs now. He's the captain there. Could very well be a captain of New South Wales in the future. Many people have said Cameron Murray as well would be a future New South Wales captain. But just speaking of the captain, Jake Trbojevic, he didn't play that many minutes last night and in the first game as well. He only played 23 minutes in the game, and a lot of people have criticised Michael Maguire for making him captain, and why does he only play 23 minutes when others around him get extra time? Well, look, he probably has that leadership quality off the field. The players love him. He is one of those blokes that you want to have in your side, no matter, definitely for rep teams. And the stuff that he does at Manly as well, he leads from the front as well in the field. But a popular choice of captain was Jake Trbojevic, and look, Madge Maguire, he obviously made the right decision because he's gone out with a series victory. So he didn't get that much time in game 1. I'm not too sure about game 2, but 23 minutes in this game, but probably 23 minutes of quality. But getting back to Steve Crichton, he is certainly in that leadership group now, I think, as well. He's captain of the Bulldogs, and he is certainly showing it in other fields as well. Ben Hunt, he went off for a HIA trying to stop Spencer Linu close to the line, copped a knee in the head. And look, New South Wales is just on the attack, but just they couldn't get across that line. Look, in that first half, there was great defence from Queensland, as New South Wales had 22 tackles inside the 20-metre, Queensland's 20-metre area. Queensland only had 3 tackles inside New South Wales' 20-metre area. So, look, great defence from Queensland, but once again, great defence from both sides, as there was massive big hits in both sides, and it was only 2-0 at half-time. Could you believe that? It was 2-0 due to... It was looking towards another historic moment in Origin, as the last time it was 0-0 in Origin at half-time was Game 2, 1984, that same game, the game before the Game 3 on the 17th of July, 1984, so the Game 2, 1984 was 0-0 at half-time, so it was looking to be a repeat of history from there some 40 years later, but unfortunately Spencer Leniu, he changed his line on DCE, knocked him over, and it was a penalty due to contacting him, and Val Holmes, he kicked it over to give Queensland the lead 2-0 at half-time. And look, 2-0 at half-time, it's still anybody's game, which was awesome to see. It was still gripping, edge of the seat stuff for us fans at home. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like at the ground. The atmosphere just must have been amazing, and a shout out to NSW Blues and the New South Wales supporters up there. If you are listening to this podcast, then you will be pleased to know that your chants of New South Wales came through the TV nice, loud and clear. So well done to that one. Even outdid the Queenslanders, which in a Game 3 decider is very hard to do. So well done to you New South Wales supporters up there. But look, a great monumental, I guess you could say, momentum change in the game, as Reece Walsh, look, he makes a break down the field and he's chased by Mitchell Moses. Mitchell gets him down, but Reece, he just gets back up again. But smart play to Zach Lomax, who just waited for him just to get back up on his feet as if he was going to run away again, and then he takes him over the sideline, which gives New South Wales back the ball. So, and what a series Zach Lomax has had in this State of Origin series, his debut series. I actually picked him to be the player, the Wally Lewis medalist, but that went to Angus Crichton, who had a great series as well. He was one of the players he was the player of the series according to the selectors, the Wally Lewis medalist, but Zach Lomax as well, he was right up there as well with the players as well. That kick from the sideline to get the score back to 2-2 from the sideline in your first Origin decider up in Queensland, your third game of Origin. I honestly was sitting there questioning the decision to go for the 2. I thought maybe New South Wales would have tried to have gone for the try, but I guess that just shows you the confidence that he has had and grown through this Origin series. He probably said on the field, yeah, I can kick this one, so give me the ball, I'll kick it for New South Wales. And he did. It was 2-2. Ended up 2-2, and it was just a monumental change in the game, I think. Turning point in the game. 50 minutes into the game, still no Kalen Ponga on the field, but then 2 minutes later he comes on. But very interesting selection for Queensland, especially keeping him off for that long a time. There were times there during the coverage it looked like Reece Walsh was injured and suffering an injury, limping around and the like, because it was a very brutal game. So maybe, just maybe, if Billy Slater had his time over again, maybe he would have taken Reece Walsh off and put Kalen Ponga on like for like, but I guess that didn't happen, and probably maybe it should have happened. Look, Bradman Best versus Dane Gagai all night. Basically, wherever each other went, the other one was there. It was the master versus the apprentice, I guess you could say. Dane Gagai has played over 20 Origins for Queensland. This was Bradman Best's second. He scored a try in this game. What a try that was as well. The ball was rolling along the ground after Connor Watson offloaded it. Jerome Luai picks it up, gets it on the outside of Jeremiah Nanai in between Dane Gagai, sprints down the field, slows down as he knows he needs to slow down. He can hear Bradman Best coming, and he passed the ball to Bradman. Bradman juggled it, but he caught it. He had it in his hands. He had to defend off his Newcastle Knights teammate, Dane Gagai. He also had to contend with Kalen Ponga, his other Newcastle Knights teammate, and score in the corner. So he got the first try of the game to New South Wales, and look, a great game from Bradman. It probably asks the question though, is he going to be a starting centre next year in Origin? Well, look, he could handle it. I just think that maybe he won't get that spot just with the players that are in front of him. I guess you've got, obviously Stephen Crichton, you've got Latrell Mitchell, Tom Travojevic, if he's fit and healthy and playing well at the time. But look, State of Origin 2025 is a long time away, so that decision won't be made for a long time anyway. So, but if Bradman Best was called upon again, he could certainly handle that job. That is for sure. Look, there was other moments in the game as well that probably didn't get noticed. I think there was one knock-on from Queensland, but that didn't get picked up by the officials. I think there was a kick across field from Moses, and Lomax catches it. How good is he in the air, by the way? Looking forward to seeing that one at Parramatta next year with Mitchell Moses and Zach Lomax, just quietly. But it looked like Hamaso Tabuai Fido knocked on, but it wasn't picked up by the officials. 2 penalties to Queensland and an unsuccessful captain's challenge by New South Wales. Look, Queensland sort of slowly gained the ascendancy there. They got a penalty after a high tackle from Reece Robson on Harry Grant. Then Queensland took the penalty shot. They led 4-2. And look, as I mentioned before, then that was Bradman Best's try, which gave New South Wales the lead 8-4. And look, Mitchell Moses' try, how good was that to see? About 15 to 20 metres out, I think it was. Just stepped off the left foot, had to get rid of Hammer. He got past Reece Walsh as well. Harry Grant it was. Got around Reece Walsh, and just his speed just got him across the line, and geez, it was great to see. Look, many people probably sort of, I guess you could say, compare it to Nathan Cleary's try against the Broncos in the grand final last year. Very similar. He saw an opportunity, he went for it. Moses saw an opportunity and went for it, and they both scored tries. So Mitchell Moses becomes the third New South Wales halfback to win a decider game up in Queensland. So credit to him. He got man of the match in game number 2, which was great to see from a Parramatta fan's perspective. Unfortunately, though, he is out for the season. A ruptured bicep tendon has ruled him out for the year. And look, in my personal opinion, Parramatta were never going to make the finals anyway this year. So, look, it probably might be a good thing for Mitchell. He sat out 10 weeks earlier on in the year with that hamstring injury. The foot injury it was. So he missed a lot of football. He missed game number 1 of Origin. He got back for the next 2. And unfortunately now out for the season. So, look, that will definitely be his highlight of the year, is the Origin Series win. And you would like to think that he would have that number 7 spot in the Origin team next year all sewn up. So it's something for Nathan Cleary to try and fight for now. But again, look, Origin 2025 is a long time away, so we don't know what's going to happen there. But look, that's probably the best thing for Mitchell at this stage. He is injured. He is going to miss the rest of the season. Look, he'll get surgery. Then he can be in rehab, recovery. He can spend time with his family. Obviously, watch Parramatta play watch Parramatta play as well. Just get ready for next season. Have a good recovery. Have a good pre-season, and then be fit and ready for 2025. Look, he may even have some time now that Jason Riles has been released from the Melbourne Storm to catch up with Jason and talk about 2025 and the style of football that he wants to play and the team that he wants to play with. So, look, that to be honest, that you never want to see a player injured. That's going to rule him out for the rest of the year. There's only 7 games remaining, but Parramatta, they may get the wooden spoon. They're in a tussle with the Dragons, so anything could happen there. But sorry, not the Dragons. What am I saying? Sorry, Flano. If you're listening, the Tigers, I should say, who are potentially going for their 4th in a row wooden spoon. So, look, Mitchell, we wish you all the best in your recovery. A great Origin series, playing 2 games, being in the matching game 2, and pretty much you would have gone close to the Wally Lewis medalist, I reckon, but one of New South Wales' best in the series as well. Look, other players that played pretty well throughout last night and this this series, Payne Haas as well. He had his critics. He played pretty well. Liam Martin, he had a bit of I thought maybe a off game to his standards, but throughout the series, he has certainly been one of New South Wales' best. He's one of those players that is just built for Origin. I think he's got that dog mentality. You can see it in his face, running onto the field and the like. He's just so angry when he gets on that field, and he's an Origin player. Angus Crichton, we mentioned before, he had a great series, Wally Lewis medalist, so you can't take that one away from him, especially the troubles we all know about that he had 18 months ago. Started off playing reserve grade this season for the Roosters. There was talk about David Fafita joining the Roosters, so that would have been playing on his mind as well, but he's certainly been the best back rower in the NRL and certainly in this Origin series as well. One player who I thought probably wasn't going to get picked in game 1, let alone all 3, was Spencer Leniu as well. We all know about his suspension from the start of the year. We don't need to go back about that one. But he has proved, I guess, myself wrong, and probably many others, that he is an Origin player as well. Love those runs off the back fence, and every run he does is really determined just to try and break that line and run with venom. So great to see that one as well. Dylan Edwards made his Origin debut in game number 2, got man of the match in game number 3, well deserved. Unfortunately, a PCL injury to his knee, which will see him out for 2 to 4 weeks for the Panthers, so that's a little bit disappointing, although it probably just shows you how tough he is, because he played that second half of an Origin game with that PCL injury. But look, he had a great Origin series and a great game last night as well. 243 metres from 27 runs. And look, he would have played all 3 if it wasn't for that quad injury for game 1, which saw James Tedesco get that spot. So an injury for the Panthers there. Look, Dane Laurie will probably take that fullback spot from Dylan over the next couple of weeks, and they will just use that next man up mentality. Not not too much to say about the Queenslanders. I think probably Pat Carrigan and Tom Dearden will probably be the best for them in game number 3. Very hard to see who else played good last night. They didn't score a try, so I cannot remember if ever. That probably could be the first time as well that I think there was 1995. There was no try scored by Queensland. I think they won 2-0 in that game. So yeah, in these times anyway, very unusual not for a Queensland side not to score a try. So a great defence, as I mentioned before, from New South Wales, just held them out, but very unlike Queensland not to score a try. They'll be disappointed about losing the decider in front of their home fans, but look, that's rugby league, isn't it? As I said before, third time in 30 years. So 1994 was the first game they won the decider up there at Lang Park, then 2005, and now 2024. So a great result for New South Wales. As you can probably tell, I'm very happy that New South Wales have won the Origin Series, as one of my teams has won a series, has been successful. The other one, Parramatta, not so successful this year. So, look, hopefully that'll turn around in 2025. So, look, great to see New South Wales win. The Origin Shield has come home. I dare say it is at New South Wales Rugby League headquarters as I speak right now. So it'll be there for 12 months and hopefully 2 years, 3 years, because I think hopefully this team is sort of building something together for the future as well, that hopefully they can go on a little bit of a run and create some history themselves. Maybe the first New South Wales side to win 4 series in a row. Who knows? But we just take 1 year at a time and see what happens from there. So well done to Madge Maguire. His first year as Origin coach, and he's got a series victory. He wants nothing more than another series victory in 2025. He wants to concentrate on New South Wales, even if another NRL job comes along. There was a little bit of talk about him wanting the Parramatta Eels job that has now gone to Jason Riles, but he wanted to concentrate on New South Wales and get this victory for the state, for the people of New South Wales. So he will probably concentrate on New South Wales from now on. He loves the job. Well done to him. He got the job done, had to make some hard calls, dropping James Tedesco originally in game 1 and at the end of the captaincy as well. He made the hard call of dropping Nico Hines and Cam McInnes and Hamoli Olakau'atu, Hudson Young as well throughout the series, and bring in other players. It's always hard if you win an Origin game to drop players, so he had to make those hard calls as well. So well done to Madge Maguire. He did coach New Zealand last year to a Pacific Championships victory over Australia for New Zealand. I think it was 30-0 in the final, their biggest ever win, I think, against Australia, and obviously that premiership in 2014 with South Sydney. So he is a coach. He loves to coach, and a very experienced one who is getting results, that is for sure. So look, that's the wrap on game number 3, Origin 2024, 14 points to 4. The Blues have done it up there at Suncorp Stadium. Great to see. I wish I was there, but for those that were, and New South Wales supporters, I bet you would have loved it, and probably gone up Caxton Street, maybe gone to the Caxton Hotel for a celebratory drink or two. Not too sure where the players went after the game. I dare say they wouldn't have gone back to the Caxton Hotel, but I'm sure they would have celebrated with a few twoies new or 2 or 3 or 4 last night in Brisbane. So funny thing, on social media today, actually. Brian Toto was seen on the airplane coming home in his jersey, and then when he got home, he was still in his jersey. Certainly is a character, Mr. Brian Toto, that is for sure. But look, congratulations to the New South Wales Blues. Look, thank you, Queensland Maroons, for a great series. But unfortunately, New South Wales were the winners, and we will hold the shield for a year now and look forward to 2025 State of Origin. So, go the Blues. The Para Cave Podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leagues Club, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, BTZD Clothing, and the official media partner of the Para Cave Podcast, the Parramatta Times.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Para Cave Podcast. See you next time.